All right, what is up, DFS Army? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Welcome to our weekly In the Crease, talking hockey, talking just random stuff too. With me, as always, is Lazy Boy Tattoo. I see on there. What's going on? Merry Christmas, man.
Oh, not too much. Just getting ready for this slate. So I don't celebrate Christmas, so I don't care about that.
And Merry Christmas also to Sean. Good to see you, brother. What's going on?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just finally have a weekend and then traveling here soon. I'm assuming we probably won't be here next week, but we'll get into that later.
Yep, more than likely this will be the last one, at least maybe until the new year, right? With Christmas next Wednesday. You're traveling. Where are you traveling to?
West Virginia.
Traveling West Virginia. Mountain Mama, take me home, country road. Yep. We're gonna be traveling too. The family. We're going up to visit family in Minnesota. Hence the wild sweatshirt. Taking my son, who is 13, to his first NHL game ever. So he and I are really excited about that. So my wife and our daughter will just stay back with the family. So little boy time up in the frozen north a little bit. So all right, well, welcome to you guys. Welcome to all who are watching too. We've got a really nice sized slate. I like this size, like 7 to 10. I think is like the kind of like the perfect size. We've got good options. We've got spots that you can kind of get away from. People are going to own with the same kind of upside. You don't have to get too terribly crazy and still play some good plays. So I guess with that said, you can see that we got the domination station pulled up. 9 games on the slate. You can see the game totals there. At first look, Sean, who do you like tonight? Who are your favorites? Who do you kind of want to stay away from? What's your initial thought here?
My initial thought is get as many Devils and Avs as you can. It's hard with the pricing, but those are my 2 main upside like stacks in general here.
And you can see that
I don't see any like jarringly. I don't see any jarringly bad spots if you're MMEing. But yeah, it's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. John Marchese, welcome in. Colorado 1, they are always viable. They're going to be owned though tonight, aren't they, guys?
Yeah, I would assume that's probably El Chaco.
Yep. Kinnan bringing in the highest, I think. Yep, right there, and then Carr too. And then Nico, I mean, right there, 3 out of the top 6 skater spots are the Avs. So what do you do? What do you guys do in a situation like this where you've got obvious chalk? What do you do here?
Depends on what I'm playing in, but I mean, I have, since the Avs are going to lose tonight, I have no problem fading them. So,
ooh, hot take.
Yeah. the goalie revenge games. What I would honestly do, like if I'm playing cash or single entry,
there it is.
like
yep, John brings it up. The goalies get traded for each other. Double revenge.
Like personally, I'm not playing McKinnon and company, but just due to the pricing, and it's hard to build lineups that way. But if I'm playing smaller fielded single entry, like I know I'm going to be up against McKinnon, I would just chuck him in your double ups. I know you probably can't afford Rantanen with that, but maybe like throw in a Colton or a Nichushkin or someone as like a little twosome.
Colton's expensive too. Probably Nichushkin would be a
yeah. Nichushkin's $5K
or Lehkonen
right there. Yep. Yeah, you just eat that in cash and in your double ups, like Sean said. But in your tournaments, I think you go different. You've got other players that have just as good an upside that aren't going to be as owned, and there's your leverage right there. All right, so you're going away from the Avs. Who do you like? If we're not on
Tampa.
The Avs, Sean? Tampa.
Sorry.
Okay. For Scott.
Well, he's distracted looking at porn. I like Tampa. I like Vegas. I like the Kings and Edmonton. I usually don't say Edmonton because I feel like I'll jinx them, but I think they're going to beat the wheels off of Boston tonight.
Mm-hmm. Boston just has not looked like Boston usually looks. And the Oilers they're starting to figure it out. They're starting to figure it out. And those couple of cheaper pieces on line 2 with Leon, can help you fit in some other bigger stacks. Kapanen and Podkolzin.
Yeah, they're like 26 and 2,700 a piece, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I should know they're in my lineup. So.
So you said you liked Vegas. Vegas going up against Lincoln.
Yeah, I actually like that whole game. I don't trust Vancouver, but I think it's going to be a barn burner.
Mm-hmm. John says,
I think I like the Kings a bit here, even though Kempe and them are a little bit pricey. If you want to get contrarian, I don't mind Fiala even as like a one-off. He's been shooting a lot.
How expensive is he?
6,000.
Decently priced. Decently priced. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I obviously wrote up Turcotte as the cheap line 1 piece, and we got Byfield, who's playing minutes and on the power play finally. Those are my cheapies.
Okay. And then one of you all mentioned the Devils.
Power play 1?
I don't think he's on he's on the second power play, but
he's like obviously the DS has him as 4-2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I was going to say
he's 1-2.
You could throw him with Fogle and Lafreniere and take power play 2 for cheap. And even if you want,
one of y'all mentioned.
Yep.
And one of y'all mentioned the Devils too.
Yeah, the Jackets have been awful lately, especially on the penalty kill. And New Jersey has one of the best power plays in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know
Pratt
that
and Hughes have just been,
yeah. Hughes is not afraid to shoot. That can just lead to crazy upside. And Bratt has been one of the most underrated guys this whole season. If you look at, he's like he's on 100-point pace right now. Pretty nuts.
Let's see how. Yep, Hughes is. I mean, you've got your up. I mean, here's your difference, right? Mac 10-3, Hughes $1,500 less in close enough to the same kind of situation. For that much less, and the ownership difference too.
And Elvis hasn't played in like 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
They called up Jet Greaves. He played 3 games, and then they sent him back down. Like he didn't do anything wrong. Like it's just the team's finally the on paper roster is finally playing like what it looks like on paper.
Mm-hmm.
The tape Brad, is out.
7,500 for Bratt.
That was my thing. Is like, I really like the Kings and I like Kempe, but Bratt is right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of where I went tonight.
Any love for? No, they're up against a fairly solid defense, but any love for Ottawa from either of you guys? Just from a volume perspective, they seem to go overlooked a lot, but Tkachuk shoots all the time. Batherson is developing into a star. I know the game total is low, which I don't know might scare some people off, which might give a little bit of leverage there. Any love for Ottawa from you guys?
Yeah, I like a little bit. I won't be stacking them up, but I like Batherson. I wrote him up today. Yeah, they just didn't make the cut for me to stack them, but I didn't MME either. So
yeah, if I was MMEing, I would be slightly overweight on them because I don't think Dan Vladar is very legit. Like he's like, I think he had like minus 15 last game. He is either really good or really bad, typically as a backup.
And there's some regression coming for him.
Yeah, I mean, I love Brady Tkachuk in general. It's just at the price point tonight, I think I would rather have Hughes and like Rantanen or someone. But
how pricey is Brady tonight? 89, yeah.
I mean, he is awesome though, and Ottawa is sneaking into the playoffs right now. Like, I know it's really early, but it's a good story, especially with Allmark.
Oh yeah, and John brings up like he's on fire. There he is. Yep.
Yeah.
Like, is he leaving this in Boston? It's just been so bad. Is it because Swayman never had a training camp? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, it was Swayman not going to training camp and pressuring him to just face game like live NHL competition off rip. But Swayman's coming back into form, I think. I could be wrong. I haven't been paying too close attention to him specifically because Boston usually doesn't allow him to get peppered with too many shots. So
right.
I like to either have a super safe goalie or I like to have a risky goalie with high upside, and he just is in that middle ground typically for me.
So besides Allmark, switching to goalies, who are you all on? Who's kind of the favorite, right? We're kind of trying to, at least on DK, in tournaments, kind of stay away from the goalies over 8K just because their ceiling usually isn't commensurate with their price.
Oh, I stay away from them in cash too.
Right.
I want to check them first thing I do.
Do you? Okay.
I did not.
So
play
Allmark, I know. So Allmark, y'all both wrote up. I know he's core for you. Tattoo. Who else do you guys like? Who else?
I'll let Tat go first.
Well, I got DraftKings pulled up, so that would be Allmark, Jari, Lehkonen, or Lankinen, or whatever his name is. No problem playing Soderblom.
All the way down at 7,200.
And
yeah, that's who I have right now.
Shit, I'd play
just because Seattle's offense is so, yeah.
And Elvis too.
Ooh, you're
definitely
taking
not for the fan part there.
No, not in a single. I wouldn't play him in a single entry, but he would be in my pool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. He'll either get you -10 or he'll get you 40. So,
but I think on FanDuel, Kemper, Skinner, Vass, and Allmark are all under 8K.
Yeah. So Allmark's my core guy, and then I have a feeling one of the goalies from Vancouver, Vegas has one of the highest scores. Like, I know that's like kind of vague, but like that game is a close game. Like, Vancouver's trying to, they're a good team trying to, put a little string of wins together, and Vegas is heating up. Aiden Hill's a good goalie. Lankinen is had a great season so far, even though Demko's back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm waiting for Seattle's goalie. Like, if Decord gets confirmed, then I'm kind of off Soderblom because I don't think Chicago can put up 3 or 4 goals on Decord like very often. Could be wrong, but if it's Grubauer, I think Chicago can win that game half the time almost. So I have no problem playing Soderblom
with the win on DK. It's secondary.
I like 6 points. 6 points is a big deal in my contest.
I thought it was 4 points. Is it 6?
Is it 4?
I think it's 4. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before.
I don't know.
I don't mind a little Jari either, just because of how
I don't mind
awful Nashville is at all. They're going to shoot some, but they just can't score the puck at all. And I think some people just, and I think some people might still be kind of, gun shy about Jari with just how bad he was early on. But since he came back from the conditioning stint, he's been fine. He's been fine. And again, he's priced very reasonably on DraftKings, 7,600.
I like it.
Yep. Saros, you could go the other side too. Record aside, he's been doing what he normally does. Like, I think he's got a losing record, but his goals allowed is under 3. His save percentage is over 900. So he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's getting no support.
His blue line. His blue line is filled with NHL created players.
Yeah. Their defense looks like it's a preseason game every night. But I mean, Pittsburgh's been playing better, at least offensively, and to me that's a sneaky lone stack, especially in tournaments. I think both Rust and Raquel I think they've each got 4 goals in their last 5 games each. So, going back to what we were talking about earlier, Pittsburgh would be a sneaky stack, and they're not terribly expensive either. But goalie-wise, I wouldn't mind. Yeah. So goalie-wise, I wouldn't mind either of those. Let's see how cheap.
It's funny, Mackenzie Blackwood 2 weeks ago was a $6,900 goalie.
Well, now he's favored to win.
I mean, look at how cheap Crosby is.
Shows how little DraftKings and them know about hockey. I mean, it's ridiculous that he'd be that much expensive when he's a crappy goalie. But just because he's on Colorado,
they're just going with the favorites.
Second-tier team. He's 85.
You need to work for the San Jose Sharks promotion team. You need to run their Twitter account.
I would if they let me.
Mm-hmm.
Be a conflict of interest, but I'll do
it. Not really. Get on there and be like, oh, this is lazy picks, lazy parlay on the Sharks official account.
Except for do that. When they play Edmonton, I'd be like, oh, well, sorry, the Sharks can get their ass kicked tonight.
Clint Costin's going to get a hat trick, though.
Yeah.
All right. Who's the low owned? Who's the low owned person or stack that you guys are on? Whether they're cheap or just totally under the radar.
Buddy.
What? This is hockey. This is not like fine dining. But I mean, I don't know what y'all think, but y'all need to get more integrated in the hockey world. If y'all are offended by my behavior,
I'm offended.
Low owned. I mean, I can throw out San Jose because I love them and they're great. King, I don't think the Kings are going to be owned like we were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Philly's on a back-to-back too.
I will go with the bait. on the guy in the chat that's going to the Blues game. If you want to get real frisky, cheap Blues, man, they've been cheap for a while too. I don't like it, but if you want like Buchnevich, like if he was like on like a more dynamic team, that dude is legit.
Robert Thomas too.
Yeah, Robert.
I just
Thomas
like him.
Robert Thomas.
I like
and
Jake Neighbors is like 22 years old. I'd love him.
Yeah.
I wrote up Robert Thomas and Oliver Bjorkstrand.
Bjorkstrand, yeah. I think he was my cheapie in my article.
Hey, that's Soderblom blasphemy, sir.
Well, I'm not playing Soderblom.
Yeah, but for him, you know, Jordan Kyrou too, 5 goals in his last 6 games.
But then, I mean, Oliver could get 6 shots on goal and score a goal, and Soderblom could still have 35 plus saves. So they don't necessarily.
We don't talk about Oliver Bjorkstrand here in Columbus. We loved him, and our GM shipped him off for nothing, and we feel bad.
Well, you should hate your front office, not Oliver.
We fired him.
Oliver. Y'all too.
I love Oliver Bjorkstrand. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You never seen Green Acres at all? Not even like the little reruns on Nick at Night TV? Where you have to go top of the telephone pole and call. Somebody in the comments, y'all have seen Green Acres, right?
And you know, honestly,
get my back on this.
No,
John, help me out.
I remember.
John,
I remember. We're basically the same age. I remember that. Green Acres is the place to be.
Farm living is the life.
Living is the life for me. Yeah, in Seattle, like they're 17th in goals scored, so they're sort of sneakily not awful offensively. They just don't have the 1 or 2 guys that are standing out. They're sort of just kind of doing it by committee. So that's keeping their price down. And again, when you play Chicago, I think there's always value in having some exposure to them in your large field, in your MME stuff.
Chicago gives up a ton of points to centers, if that's of any value.
Matty Beniers.
Or even Chandler Stevenson if you need a cheapie.
Chandler Stevenson too, yeah.
They're just kind of all over the board. Did I see earlier that Brandon Tanev's on their top line? Yep. They got like 4 second lines there.
They do.
He's not on power play, but he's on the top line.
I'd love.
Is Kako playing there tonight? Is
I don't know.
Playing tonight? I haven't seen. For sure.
Oh, I have a couple of like real life hockey things I need to remember to say later or now. I don't care.
I mean,
tonight actually is like the trade cutoff for the holidays. They don't want people to get traded before Christmas and stuff.
Yeah. We had a couple of good ones too. Over the last few days.
Something else could happen. I was telling Tad earlier, like Provorov, like, I mean, you can play him tonight. He's cheap, like if you need that price range and like cash or something. But like JJ Moser for Tampa just got oh shit. Am I here? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. JJ Moser got like he's out for 2 months about. So there's going to be teams that are shopping for D here.
Edmonton shopping.
Like,
I know too.
Yeah. And then
Kako's not
just
even showing
in general.
up in the DS. So
damn.
Side note.
Just in general, like as the season goes on here, it's kind of important. You know, guys get called up and sent down, and like young guys want to like prove that they're NHL players and, you know, get their career started. But some of these like career minor league guys that come up, people don't realize that like in the AHL, they're making like $70K, $80K a year. Like they're making normal people money. And then when they come up, the league minimum salary is like $700,000 and they get paid per game. So they're getting paid 10 times per game what they do down like in the minors. So they're really motivated to stay in the show. For what that's worth. I mean, you don't always want to play new guys, but if like someone gets an opportunity.
Oh yeah, because I know like ECHL is like 35 to 50,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you get that real money, you don't want to leave it.
No, it's a huge start fan.
All right. Let's see. Anything else that's popping off to you guys? I mean, I know Tattoo, you like San Jose. I think there's value in playing San Jose because the Avs still haven't figured out how to play defense. It's better than it was. Maybe their goaltending, but you know that would be on the top of their Christmas wish list is an actual legitimate goalie.
Colorado
they're not going to do anything if they don't have one.
Is better because they got San Jose's goalie. I think that I want to say Philadelphia Kings, but I don't see Philadelphia putting up much on the Kings as far as a pop-off game. I could see Columbus putting up 3 or 4 on New Jersey. I mean, I think we overhype New Jersey as like a good team. Like they're a good offensive team, but they're not a great team, you know.
No, Markstrom's been bailing out their defense.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Columbus could be sneaky when everybody's on New Jersey. Same thing, like you said, with San Jose when everybody's on the Avs. Vancouver, Vegas, sneaky. I want to like Pittsburgh, but I can't. I just don't think Nashville's going to give up a ton of goals. So.
Yeah. I don't know. We had a question earlier in the chat too, and this, you know, when we're talking about like stacking and things like that. If I can find it. It was from, let me see if I can find it. From Brad. I'm going to read it. He's looking at the sheets and he's trying to make a lineup, but as soon as he puts in a stack, so thanks for looking at the sheets, but as soon as he puts in a stack, he's running out of money. So he's asking, first of all, like 2 or 3 players in a stack, should he include defensemen from the same team? Should he build his line goalie first? So I guess how would you guys answer that question? Because when we do the stacks, and let me see if I can share the tab. There we go. Is that working? Can we see the? There we go. Yay. Yeah. So again, when we put the stacks together, hold on. There it is. There it is. Yep. So when we're putting the stacks together, these are, you know, the players and the combinations that we like best. And we got it so that you guys can see the salaries over here. So there's, and here's FanDuel right here. FanDuel especially, sometimes it's easier and more fun to make lineups, but as Brad's saying, you run out of money a whole lot more quickly.
Yeah.
So I guess, how would you approach something like that? Because again, Sean, you wrote up, just these two, just those two together, you can see the cost right there. So if you try to put in anybody else, you've, taken up 40% of your salary and you still got 6 spots left. So how do you guys attack that? How do you guys approach that?
When I'm hand building, like my main stack is my priority. Like you said, I know you run out of money, so when I'm trying to fit that first stack in there, like I did tonight, and I'm point, Getzel, I try to get the 4-man, my main stack, how I want it. And then I'll probably try to find my goalie, and then I'll fill in how I can with another team that I'm high on, that I might just go to their second power play, or just some cheaper lines from that team. But my priority is my top stack, and then the rest has to figure itself out.
And I think a lot of times you want to make sure, if you can, that when you're looking at the line groups and the even strength line groups, which is the first column, and the power play line, which is the second column, I think in a perfect world, you want to have them all be the same, because you want to take advantage of, if they're going off all together, right? Now, you don't necessarily have to. Like, for example, when we were talking about New Jersey as a really viable high upside sort of pivot from Colorado, you can see Jack Hughes right here on the second line, but he's also on the top power play line. If we scroll down, we find some of the other New Jersey. Same thing here. Bratt and Hughes are together on both, but there's nothing saying that you have to go with Jack Hughes. You could very easily put Bratt and then come down here with Nico. So that way you're getting two pieces of the top power play unit, but you're also getting exposure to both even strength lines. So that's a very viable way to save some salary and still get exposure to the lines and the stacks that you want. So, like, in other words, you can fade the most expensive piece and swap in somebody else from one of the other lines and still get good correlation. So that's another way to do it as well. Like I said on FanDuel, when that's way more expensive, that's a lot of times more viable or an easier thing to do. Where on DraftKings, they're priced a little bit more, safe, like, more conservatively.
Last week on the show, might have been before you got here, we were talking about, I think Toronto was going to be like the chalk, and we were just like, so don't play ATM and play Tavares and Nylander and Max Pepperoni.
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 So you can do, like you said, piggybacking off that, if you really like a team, maybe if you can't afford that top stack and make a lineup you like, go to their second line. I mean,
that's what I just did on my lineup.
Get a little bit of each.
Yeah. I mean, tonight, look, Nico and Timo Meier, right? Top line, right? Look at the cost. It's $13K between the two of them. Paying up for Hughes, yeah, he's got volume, but look how much more pricey he is. So fade Hughes, go with those other two and Bratt, right? And you're saving money and you're still getting exposure.
And especially like with the volatility that your $10,000 guy can get you a zero. Like, easy, he could just get a zero, or get 3 shots on goal and he gets you 4.5 points.
Yeah, Mr. McKinnon and I have a toxic relationship, because if he had like even his average floor game, I'd have another couple grand. One of my 4th places earlier, he had 4.5 points. I was like, "Come on, bro."
I have an issue right now with Sam Reinhart.
Yes.
The thing is, I had a 3-leg parlay last night, and Caesar stupidly paid out Kaprizov. And like the last leg I needed to hit was Reinhart. And I was like, I
Mm.
can't believe these stupid asses paid off Kaprizov as a goal.
Mhm. Yeah. Another thing, Tampa, right? Nothing saying you have to play Kucherov. Yeah, he's maybe got the highest ceiling, but you scroll down here, look at how much cheaper Braden Point is.
And Hagel.
Braden Point's got 21 goals in 25 games. Right? Why wouldn't you like save $1,800 or however much it is?
I think if you
just
give me a
play Point and
choice,
Gensel
10
together.
nights, I would take Point over Cooch in DFS.
Yeah, especially in tournaments. Right? In cash, you can make the argument that maybe for playing him, but in tournaments, no, fade it and save some money, right? So, Gensel,
Gensel, I mean,
still right there.
you got the first power play, but Gensel's 2,100 cheaper.
Yep. Yeah, so I think for people, not necessarily familiar, there are so many paths to failure for anybody in hockey. Like you said, McKinnon can get 2 shots tonight and get shut out. Right? The likelihood of that happening is pretty low, but it's higher in NHL for something like that to happen than it is something like NBA or NFL.
Yeah, I mean, so Barkley's going to get 20 touches a game. Saquon Barkley, we know that. We know this. The volume is there, but with the hockey guys, baseball guys, it's just not cooked in. So
yeah, McKinnon's going to get his 3 or 4 shots. Yeah, he's going to get his 3 or 4 shots, but I mean that's what.
Don't mean they're going to be on goal
points. Yeah.
You could have randomly played Cole Sillinger yesterday or whenever from the Jackets, and he had 17 penalty minutes and stayed in the game. Like it's anything can literally anything can happen.
Yep.
You throw in,
what was it? I know it was the end of the game, but
Scott Webb from the Flyers, who averages 1.3 fantasy points a game and puts up 54. I mean, that's just a night you tip your cap and move on.
Literally, no one had him in my contest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to play in contest that somebody's going that far out.
What's the difference tonight between McDavid and Leon? Too. McDavid $9,700,
$2,000.
Leon $1,900.
Yeah,
and
I mean, to me,
Leon's got more points. I think. I know he's got more goals than McDavid. He might be out
there.
McDavid
to win the Rocket Richard.
Yeah, Leon's leading the league in goals, so there's definitely an argument for fading McDavid and taking Leon, and then pairing him with Hyman or Nugent Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
Or
both, right? And then there's your Edmonton 3-man stack.
Or you take Leon and his 2 cheapies, and then you can really throw in some studs elsewhere.
Yeah, because let's see, how cheap are they?
26 and 2,700, I do believe.
Yeah, so 5,300 plus Leon is what? 73. So for 14. So for 13K, you've got
Edmonton's second line,
which includes the league leading goal scorer.
Not a bad gig if you can get it.
No, and that lets you pay up for a 4-stack from one of these other teams like Kings that we were talking about earlier.
And might even let you fit Point, Hagel, and Gutzel in there too.
Yeah. So don't ever be afraid to fade the expensive or the chalk.
No, I think the only time
get access to those lines that are in this good spot.
Like the stuff me and Sean playing, sometimes you got to eat a little chalk because it's going to be in there. So, but yeah,
in those higher dollar, in those higher dollar, 100-person contests, you kind of have to lean toward almost like you're buying the points a little bit when you eat that chalk. It's a little bit like cash. You kind of just have to go there and just make 1 or 2 smart pivots.
Like I can assume probably, I bet you McKinnon would be 60% owned in my contest.
Mhm. Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Easily.
Like I literally have a 2-2-2-1-1 just because I wanted to have a little piece of Colorado. I wanted instead of I'm risking that correlation that I have taking away a 3 stack to get
my piece of Colorado is Devin Toes, Lemos,
Taves.
Taze.
Poink. No. Whoops.
I used him as my fantasy hockey name one time, and it was something to do with like camel toe, so that's why I call him Toe. So,
but yeah, you could fade McKinnon. You can take Mikko and then add Nichushkin to him, which I'm guessing that's what you did, Sean.
What was it?
He's not going to tell you what he did.
I was getting over
Mikko and Nichushkin. You fade McKinnon, right? And you could do Mikko and Nichushkin and save a little money. And still get there's your top power play, and you're getting a little piece of both of the top 2 even strengths.
He's not going to tell you what it. No, I literally.
Sean's not going to tell you
idea.
Who he played. Okay.
I do like that idea a lot. I just did Nichushkin as a one-off. I'll tell you that much. I just wanted to sprinkle. He's playing 22 minutes, like 20 minutes.
Yep.
And he is awesome.
If they could ever just figure out how to play defense, get a goalie.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything. All right. We've got 7 minutes toward lock. We all have our goals of the day in.
Yep. Jack Hughes.
Leon
for you, Sean. Leon for tattoo. I've got Braden Point. Spreadsheets. I love the color.
I really have to root for you tonight too, because Braden Point is very important to me tonight.
Yeah,
in so many ways.
I want Seattle to confirm their goalie.
I haven't seen anything yet.
They're always late.
There
was one slate where it was literally, it was like a afternoon slate. I was leaving work. I threw in Decord and they started Grubauer or vice versa. I forget which way it was. I was just like, oh, I just wasted money. Oh, well.
What's for dinner?
Right. Any final thoughts on this last show before Christmas?
Maybe Merry Christmas. I hope everybody has an amazing time.
Maybe.
As you will. I'll be celebrating with sports, gambling, alcohol, and drugs. So, to get me through the day. No, but no, seriously, if we're not able to be here next week with the schedule, I just hope everybody does have a safe holiday and, maybe win some money along the way. And, we'll still be around in Discord and I'll still be dropping some videos, but I just hope everybody has a, nice, safe holiday and, enjoys themselves. So.
Your dildo is in the mail.
Huh?
I said your dildo is in the mail.
Is it the stick-on kind this time? Yeah, I like to stick it to the bathtub, when I'm in there. Flop it around. So.
And it's colored like a candy cane.
Yeah.
Oh, no. And flavored.
I had a buddy who was obsessed with and actually thought that what's that disgusting candy they come out with? It's got the 3 different colors. Candy corn.
Oh yeah, this is sugar.
Fucking love candy corn. And I was like, I'm gonna buy you like a candy corn dildo. Like candy corn is
it's just food
thing ever.
All right. Oh, what's your parlay tonight? What's your parlay tonight?
Draisaitl Point and Miko.
Is it Nico? Okay.
Yeah.
And guys, if you haven't been following him, he's been hitting, it seems like at least once a week.
I like
the
to say
last
at least
few
twice a week. So.
Mhm.
I would go over in the Jackets game, over in the Sharks game. Not to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Sam.
No, you're good.
That's
over in the Sharks game.
And the Jackets game. It's probably like
and over in the Jackets game.
200 or 300. Yeah.
And if you ever want to take some like long shot bets on some of these teams, like Bet 365 is the place to do it with the early payout. Because if you get up,
they have like the up by 1 or up by 2.
Yeah, like if you took St. Louis to beat Tampa Bay tonight and St. Louis got up 3 goals, you would win your bet even if Tampa Bay came back and beat them 6-3.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So living in Texas, I sadly don't have access to that, but I would be all over that as well.
The Freedom State is not so free.
Yeah. I think it'll get here eventually. There's too much money that
we believe in freedom,
why it hasn't,
but not smoke marijuana or bet.
No.
You're free
but
to do
you can
what
shoot anything you want,
dude. It took so long for Ohio to legalize sports betting, and we still can't do some college stuff. So,
yep.
Apparently, since Ohio State's so hardcore for whatever reason, like they threaten the children there.
You did.
I've got a good
pass.
I don't think any state
you can bet on,
you can bet on state college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I can't bet on any Virginia teams in college. Like, not the game, not anything. So,
all right, y'all. So with that, you got 2 minutes to get in your lineups finalized. We're in Discord, so all night ask us questions. If we see anything, as always, we'll let y'all know if we get a goalie change or somebody gets unexpectedly scratched. But with that said,
Sean from his Cats.
That's right. So with that said, thank you, Army. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you in Discord. Helmets up.
Sheesh.